So in order to create the UI, we end up having to use templates. Templates are basically what the users interact with. That's what they see. In addition to templates, we will have views, and we have to map our URLs, which means we have to tell Django that, if somebody keys in a specific address here, or if we click on a link, where should it go? Okay, we have to provide kind of all that routing information. Okay, and we do that in urls.py. The views.py file is where we will have the functions that retrieve the data from the database and pass it along to the appropriate template. And the template is basically our HTML page. You can create the view, the templates, the URLs in any order. The order the book does it is the URL is first, okay, which kind of makes sense to me because that's what they would be keying in to get to the page. Okay, then they do the views next, which makes sense because after you key in the URL, it is going to go through the view to retrieve the data and route it to the appropriate template. So the template is done last. So that is the order that we are going to do it as well. So all mapping a URL is it's just telling the Django where to go. Okay, so you have to give it a path. There is a request. This is what they have keyed in after localhost and 8,000. So we're not really concerned about this part. It's what they key in next that we have to indicate in path. Then you would give it the function name that you want executed in the views.py file. And then you would give it a name index. Basically, this is a name we can use in Python code to refer to this particular URL. If you do not give it a request, if you leave it blank, it becomes the default. So here are some examples, and you can see that what they've keyed in is articles/2003. Here, it's articles, and then they are doing a slash and a year. That's why it says integer year. Could be anything. Here they're doing articles, which is text slash, and then it's going to be year followed by a month. And then this is a article slash year month and something that they are calling slug. Okay, so these are just different patterns, and you can see they're going to different views. Okay, so this is how it's being routed. And by default, it should route to the administration site. So if we look at the url.py file that's in the main project folder, we should notice that the admin path is in there. So we were going to go ahead and take a look. So this is learning log, not the plural form, just learning log, and we're going to open up urls.py. This is in VS Code. So here's learning log, urls.py. Okay, so this is the default. I haven't done anything to this file. You can see there's some comments up at the top trying to provide a little help for entering URLs. But right now, the only thing it knows about is the administration site. We need to tell it about our pages that we are going to be adding in the learning logs subdirectory. Okay, so we have to add an entry here, add another path, and this is going to be a default. So we're not going to put anything, so it's just 2 quotes. And we're going to have it include our learning underscore logs dot URLs. So we are going to be creating our own URLs file. And by including this, we don't have to keep coming up here and adjusting it. We're just kind of telling it, hey, in learning logs, in that folder, we got a URLs file that you need to look at. Okay, then up here where we've got import path, we are going to put comma include, okay, because that is how we're bringing this in. So let's save this. And we need to create a new file in learning logs. So I'm going to close this. And I'm going to do a Control-N, Control-S to save. And I need to make sure I'm in learning logs. So look at your directory structure. We are going to be calling this new file urls.py. And the code that's on page 395 is what you want to add. And I'm pretty sure it matches the code that I have entered for you. So it's at the bottom of 395. Nope. We're going to have to add this manually. This is the code from learning log. This is the code that's new that we need to add now. So we start out with the comment. You'll notice that they always start with from Django URLs, import path. Then we got from dot space import views. That means that the views is in the current directory. App name equals learning log. This is a namespace. URL patterns equals, we've got a little list here. Homepage. And the path that we are giving it is blank. And if they have nothing entered, right? If we key in localhost :8000, press enter, we want it to go to views file, index, which is a function. And the name we're going to refer to this as is index. So let's save this. And so at this point, we have defined our URL, and our next step is going to be to create the actual view. That is why view right now is kind of flagged because we don't have an index function in the view file. If you look at the views file, there's nothing in there. Okay, so we have to define the function and then that red squiggle will go away.